Hello everyone and welcome back to F1 Live. After a 4-week wait, we are back with the F1 qualifying on Friday. Tomorrow we've got the sprint qualifying, the sprint shootout, and we've got the sprint race, and then we've got the race. As you can see, we've got the live timing data here. Once the qualifying starts, we should all be underway. Cars are just in the pit lane now, waiting for the light to turn green, and we should all be go, go, go. As the cars now are leaving the pit lane, it looks like it's going to be a battle between Verstappen as usual, and it looks like Leclerc has been dragging that Ferrari closer to the Aston Martins and the Red Bulls in the one practice session we've had so far. The Mercedes didn't do any soft tyre runs, only medium tyre runs, so we should have to see how they're like on the soft tyre runs in this qualifying session. Looks like the Haas is the first car out the pit lane. Get a bit of light in here as well. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Quite a few cars out at the moment. I think the Haas is just going to be starting its first final lap now. We're on board with Lewis Hamilton as he's about to go across the start-finish straight. Going up to a total of 328 kilometres an hour down the main straight. Hard braking, quick flick left, down to turn 2 he goes. Hits turn 2, no correction, nice and sweet. Back end stepped out a little bit, it looked like there. Now going up to turn 3, another nice long straight. With the Mercedes being draggy, I don't think he's going to be the quickest here. Clips the apex nicely, no correction on the wheel. Brakes again for turn 5. Now this middle sector is where the Mercedes should be at its strongest. Tight corners, 36.7, yellow flag in sector 1, so that's going to hamper Lewis a bit as he's just leaving sector 1. Green flag, track clear, as now Lewis Hamilton enters the castle section of the lap. Someone's beating his time in sector 1, and it's Alex Albon of the Williams, which is no surprise. The Williams is quite a slippery car in a straight line. Hamilton's going to need a nice toe like Leclerc did in 2021 if he wants to be producing a good first and final sector, as he's now entering the final sector. Little flick to the left coming up before he has a quick left right and the long straight. 18.6 he is at the moment, and coming in the middle sector he's gone purple, but no one really out there at the moment to challenge him. Down the main straight he goes. Hamilton, let's see what he's got then. Albon slower than him in the middle sector. 14 minutes on the clock. Hulkenberg with a 44.3, Hamilton with a 43.6, 6 tenths quicker there. And Magnussen with a 44.1, 5 tenths slower. Ocon with a 44.1, also 5 tenths slower. Albon's gone quicker than Hamilton by 600ths of a second. That's quite impressive, and Russell's gone slower than Lewis as well. 2 tenths slower than Lewis. Leclerc's purple in the first sector, quicker than Perez and Sainz. Leclerc has looked really good, he's just lost that purple. Bottas has gone quicker now by a tenth and a half to Albon, 43.4. Track is evolutionising. Sargent 43.8, P4. Williams will suit this track very well. Very slippery in a straight line. As Verstappen's gone purple in the first two sectors, Perez is slower than Norris by 0.5 of a second. Yellow flag. Leclerc's had a really nice toe there. And he goes quicker by 0.6 of a second to Norris, 42.1. But Verstappen, who is absolutely flying here, coming down to the start-finish line, he goes 0.2 quicker than Leclerc, 41.8 for Max Verstappen. What is going on with this, man? What is going on with that? So your top 10 at the moment, as Alonso's on a flyer, is Verstappen, Leclerc, Norris, Piastri, Perez, Bottas, Stroll, Albon, Hamilton and Russell. That is your top 10 as it stands. Alonso on for P5, P4 on this run. As Alonso crosses the line now, third, 42.6, 0.8 off Verstappen. Verstappen's in a league of his own here. Him and Leclerc even are absolutely in a league of their own. Zhou Guan Yu lost the back end there, almost clipping the wall. As Carlos Sainz is starting another flying lap now. Actually, Sainz hasn't set a flying lap yet as he goes up to turn 2. Yellow flag in sector 1. So this is going to hamper Sainz. And Nick de Vries is in the wall. Nick de Vries is in the wall. He hasn't set a lap and he is out of qualifying. Lando Norris just came from the escape route as well. So it looks like he's had to take avoiding action. Nick de Vries is out of qualifying. Red flag. Red flag. Nick de Vries is out. Big shunt as well. Wheels gone. Deep into the barrier. Nick de Vries is out. 10 minutes on the clock. Session over. Session over. There'll be a break in time. Red flag, session over. Just watching the replay now, Nick de Vries. He's heading up to turn 3 down the second straight. And I'm going to take it as he locks up the front left. Yeah, locks up the front left, straight into the wall. Big, big shunt for Nick de Vries. Session over. That'll be a 10-15 minute clear up job as well. That front wing went everywhere. Tyres off. Laurie will have to come onto the track to collect that. It's been a really slow start to the season for Nick de Vries. I had high expectations of Nick de Vries, but that is session over for him as he's just exiting the car now. As now all the cars will be slowed down and will have to enter the pit lane. So Carlos Sainz still hasn't set a lap. That's going to put pressure on Sainz as well now. When the session restarts, there'll be 10 minutes 17 remaining. Lewis Hamilton just got across the line as well, as you can see there, in P5, so that is big. Big. With this new session format for this weekend as well, one practice session they've had, they've got this qualifying session, they've got the sprint shootout, the sprint race and the race coming up. That is really going to hamper a lot of people now. Nick de Vries is going to be really on the back foot now. He's going to be last for the race. Going to have to repair the car. Little practice. It's not looking good for Nick de Vries, especially with that car being one of the slowest cars on the grid as well. Verstappen first, as you can see, by 2 tenths. Then followed by Alonso, who's 7 tenths off. Norris 9 tenths off, and Hamilton a second off. So that is your top 5. I can see that being a 5-10 minute break, that. Why the hell have I got them coming through me pissing camera? Fuck off, you twats. How the hell can I sort that out? That shouldn't come through me pissing camera. If anyone is just joining, as you can see, above the Verstappen name, red flag, Nick de Vries has crashed out with 10 minutes 17 remaining on the clock. Turn 3, locked up the front left, went straight into the tyre barrier. Game over for Nick de Vries. He's had a bit of a shit season so far, old Nick de Vries has, and it's carrying on. How the fucking hell do I sort this out? Magnussen's on the team radio. He's in P9. Got a 7/10 gap to being knocked out. And they've got the track dominance on the screen, and it is all Leclerc and Verstappen. Verstappen in the straights and Leclerc in the corners. So that says it all. Russell just above the drop zone as well in P15. Obviously, pardon me, there will only be 5 cars. No. Well, there'll be 5 cars exiting still, but not all 5 cars will be setting a lap. Obviously, Nick de Vries hasn't set a lap yet, and he's out of the session. So, yeah. What happens when I do this? No, that's not worked. That has not worked. That didn't go to plan. That should just load back in. Yep, there we go. You know what? I'll give it a go. As it's a red flag, we've got to learn. It's just gonna. How do I get the bottom part of it gone? You know, let me just click this. Well, let me just see if this works how I want it to work. Because if it does, that is brilliant. They've got a lorry on the track now, which is well, it ain't worked. Just removing Nick de Vries' car. That front right tyre, he locked up the front left and the front right, absolutely ploughed into that tyre barrier. That is going to be a long repair job fixing that suspension. Just got a replay of it now. It don't look like he's not a brake failure or anything. He's just fucked up there. He's broke too late. He's locked up both the front tyres, to be fair, not just the front left, the front right as well, by the looks of it on that view. Yeah, both tyres lock up. That is impressive. Nick de Vries locks up the front left and the front right, goes straight into the tyre barrier, and that is game over for Nick de Vries. That's doing me nutting, that is. It's really doing my head in. Why did I run? Why? I haven't heard any news on the restart time yet, as now they've had to nick De Vries's teammate. Incident. There's been a race control notice. Apparently, Max Verstappen has been noted for an unsafe release. That will be no penalty. It might just be a fine. So that's really nothing to worry about for Max Verstappen there. Why did I run? Oh, is that Yuki Tsunoda? Yeah, just on the exit, coming into the last couple of corners, he just grazed his rear right tyre on the wall there, flicked up a lot of dust. Would have lost 2 tenths or so there probably, maybe a bit less, but you don't want to be doing that. Still no news on the restart time, but I'm pretty sure it should be within 5-10 minutes, as Nick De Vries's car, I'm pretty sure, has been cleared. I think it said no investigation necessary for the unsafe release there on Max Verstappen. So that will result in nothing then for Max Verstappen. No surprise there, he pays the fucking FIA off anyway. Rat. Why did I run? To be fair, you expect to get red flags around Baku, so... High-speed street circuit, you're always going to get red flags. I feel like this is a very long red flag for a crash that was a big crash, but it wasn't a crash that should have taken around 5-10 minutes now. Did I run? Zhou Guanyu got 3.5 tenth gap to the knockout zone at the moment, which is Esteban Ocon in P16. I do want to know. Oh I do want to know why I've got the bottom half of the grid in my camera. Don't want that. Got the top 10 there and the bottom 10 there. The reason why you can't see 10th on the left is because of a red flag, so it's just pushing them down. But I don't want these people here. I don't want Albon, Joe, Sargent, Russell, Ocon, Tsunoda, Gasly and De Vries through my camera. That's why I've got them on the right hand side. Painful this. Still no news on the restart time. Qualifying will resume at 17:24, so in 2 minutes. That's local time, obviously, not here, but the minutes is still going to be the same, so it's going to resume in 2 minutes, so that is when qualifying will restart in 2 minutes time. I want to know why I've got them coming through me, man. I spent so long on this and then that happens. Yep, cars are now at the end of the pit lane waiting. We've got the two Williams at the front and we've got a Red Bull. Then it looks like it's Lewis because of the yellow helmet. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We've got 12 cars in the pit lane now waiting for the light to turn green, which will be in a minute. Actually no, it'll be in 3 minutes. Yeah, Lewis is in the pit lane, gloves off, very calm. P5 at the moment, second off Verstappen, 1.2 seconds clear of the drop zone, so he's in a decent spot at the moment. Obviously the times will improve with 10 minutes to go. They've repaired the tyre wall as well, which is probably why it took so long, to be fair. Big shunt in it. So they've just repaired that, put it back in place, and we should be starting in 2 minutes. 2 minutes until the restart, and they're showing in... Oh no, this is the start of qualifying. Nick De Vries, he went to the end of the pit lane and he's been pushed back. Alarm is still there. I still have brake by wire off. What do I do? So Nick, maybe the reason why he's crashed is he did have a brake issue then. Brake by wire issue, possibly the reason for Nick De Vries crashing. Both of the front two tyres did lock up, so it could be a valid reason. I have to wait and see to hear him in the media pen. I had an interview after the qualifying session, as the cars will be starting in a minute. Getting underway in a minute. Franz Tost, the team principal of AlphaTauri, was leaving at the end of the season. Looking down at the cars, probably not too happy that his driver's gone binned it in walled already. But what can you do? Can't do an awful lot. I really want to get rid of that thing through me camera, man. Why is it like that? So painful. And the cars should be leaving any minute now, any second even. I think we've got Alex Albon at the front of the queue, and he is going green light gone, and he is leaving the pit lane now. Alex Albon, as the clock resumes, 10 minutes, 9 seconds, 8 seconds, and there's 10 minutes left to go of the session. All the cars will try to get 2 more laps. Most people will probably be on a scrub set of tyres right now. I ain't done anything. Russell overtaking a Alpine of Esteban Ocon, warming up the tyres, scrapping for position. Carlos Sainz is under a lot of pressure now. He usually battles under the pressure, he usually struggles under the pressure, so we'll have to see what Carlos Sainz has got in the locker with 9 minutes to go. He shouldn't feel the pressure. He's still got enough time to get 2 laps in or so. So in a car where his teammate's 2 tenths off a Red Bull, which has been the most dominant car I've seen in a while, the most dominant car this season by a country mile, he should be confident enough to stick it in the top 5. Norris in 4th, that's a great lap. Piastri 7th, that's also a great lap. Hulkenberg 6th, that's also another great lap. So by the way, if you look at the lap time it says out, that just means they're on an out lap. So they're just coming out the pits to start their lap. They're not actually out of the session. Here we go then, they're starting the lap now as the Williams crosses the line of Alexander Albon going into turn 1. Russell just doing the final right kink and now he's on full speed straight ahead, just a little warm up the tyres and he's off. Just about to go across the start finish line now. Into turn 1, braking, flick the car left, nicely done. No reaction of the rear end there, nicely done. Into turn 2, braking, nice and steady. DRS wide open. Yellow flag again. Got another yellow flag in sector 1. And Pierre Gasly has hit the wall. Red flag. Pierre Gasly's hit the exact same wall Nick de Vries has. He's not out the session, but it looks like his floor's damaged. He's scraping across the floor and he's pulled over. Oh, the rear wing's broken. He's pulled over and he's out of the session. He's destroyed that car. The rear wing is gone. Front wing's dragging across the floor. Carlos Sainz, the pressure is mounting on him now. Floor looked battered there. The rear wing was hanging off. The front right end plate of the wing was hanging off. Scrappy session this. Scrappy session. Gasly's shaking his head in the car. And Gasly's out. He's in P18. So Nick de Vries is out. Gasly's out. And that bull has taken a big hit. He's not even hit the tar. He's hit the end of the tar barrier and then he's hit the concrete wall. You can see the tyre mark on it. So that's a big hit. And that's going to be shouldn't be a big break because he's pulled off into a runoff area and he ain't damaged the wall too much. So that should be all good. But Pierre Gasly goes from bad to worse. In practice his car blew up, engine gave way. And now just having a look on board with Gasly replay. Oh, he slightly locks up the front left, misses the apex, smashes the wall, steering angle's broke, absolutely destroyed the car as well. It looks like the rear right tyre's hanging off as well. Let's have a look. Misses the apex, locks up and smashes it. He came on the radio saying he couldn't stop the car. Brake earlier, sunshine. Brake earlier. Bad to worse weekend there for Gasly then. Engine blows up in practice and now in qualifying he's out. And Carlos Sainz still to set a lap and in turn 1 he's spun it. He's ended up going backwards, Carlos Sainz has. Hasn't hit a wall but rear end goes full 360 there, Carlos Sainz does. So the pressure is getting to him bloody. How's he driving Ferrari? He's back a wank him. We've got another red flag, so that's great news. Gasly sat in the car, he looks a bit dejected. Not a lot of running in practice because his car blows up and then he goes puts it in the wheel in Q1, so that's brilliant. Another red flag. Sainz is now under so much pressure. And it looks like there's only going to be one run now. I wouldn't expect to see a massive queue in the pit lane now. I'd expect to see the likes of Ocon, Tsunoda and Sainz because they're in the bottom. Russell because he's P15. But I wouldn't expect to see the top 5 massive queue. I'd maybe expect them to go out towards the end now. But this new revised format, making it very hectic. With that one practice session, people are all over the gaff. Probably just note that they've had a 4-week break even, and you chuck them in at the deep end, give them one practice session, say here you go, and then his car blows up in that session. It's not going to help him out massively, is it? To be fair, so that's not the greatest news for him. As Carlos Sainz comes back into the pit lane, it looks like Leclerc. It looks like he's the second quickest man out on track. It looks like he's quicker than Perez. Obviously, race pace, Perez will probably have him because the race pace of that Red Bull is an absolute monster. But looks like Leclerc should be on the front or second row here. If Sainz can't get out of Q1, that is tragic for Sainz, especially as 2 of the 5 people that get knocked out in it have crashed out, leaving him only to fight with 3 people. I'd expect the session to be restarted within 3 or 4 minutes, because the tyre barrier didn't really take a big hit. It was more the concrete barrier, which you can't repair a concrete barrier, can you? So 7 minutes 32 remaining on the clock, and we had a second red flag of the session. Second red flag. I wouldn't be surprised if we get another red flag, to be honest. She's going to be proper hectic now with only 7.5 minutes remaining. Proper hectic. So I'll probably predict another red flag, to be honest. Give it 3 or 4 minutes, another red flag. So yeah. I'm really happy with how I've made this look, but that thing ghosting through me is doing my skull in, man. How can I sort that out? A lot of team radio replays coming on. I guess they've had enough of all the red flags now. Stop, start, stop, start. But I mean, what can you do? Not an awful lot. Why is this just ghosting through it? What does this do? Nah. Don't like that. Well, the gap between the two Mercedes, 10 positions and 9.5 tenths. So that is a big, big gap for Russell to find up. He has out-qualified Lewis 3 out of 3 times this season. The truck is now just removing Gasly from the escape road, so I'd expect maybe to start in 5 minutes now. And they're just showing us another replay of Gasly. Just outbrakes himself, completely misses the apex, locks up the front left, bang, right into the wall. Front right end plate destroyed on the wing, rear right tyre hanging off, rear end plate of the rear wing destroyed. His confidence is pretty low, to be fair, after Melbourne as well. Crash into his teammate, not looking good for the old Alpine boys. And they're at the end of the queue, and oh, I was wrong. 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, and it looks like AlphaTauri have they done the same thing again? Yeah, they're pushing someone back into the pit. The entire grid's in the pit lane waiting to go, so that's good. Entire pits are in the pit lane. Restart time 2 minutes. 2 minutes until we restart the session again. I really want to sort this out, man. It's doing my head in. It's doing my fucking skull in, man. It shouldn't be overflowing through that. Why? Why did I run? Why is this through the thing? It's doing my skull in. Just go away. Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen. I don't know about Norris and Hamilton, but I'd say maybe not with Alonso, but the front two, Leclerc and Verstappen, they do seem to be in a league of their own at the moment. Looks like there's a bit of work going on Magnussen's car, but it doesn't look like it's going to be anything to stop him from running. Mechanics do look like they're in a bit of a rush. It looks like it's around the cockpit area. So I wouldn't expect anything around there to stop him from running. Very hectic in the pit lane at the moment. Got a Haas trying to nudge its way through ahead of Sainz, who probably don't want that with the state he's in at the moment. Why does this not work? Oh, let's not move it around. Doing my sculling, that is, I tell ya. Doing my fucking sculling. Look forward to this, though. Should be a proper mega shootout, this now. Should be a proper mega shootout, this. 7 minutes on the clock. 7 minutes, 25 seconds. The light's gone green. They're leaving the pit lane. And we've already got a yellow flag in sector 1, but I think that's just the build-up of cars. I don't really think that's anything. Unless they ain't been like the pit lane, have they? That'd be impressive. Oh, why can I not sort this out, man? It's doing my head in, man. You know what? I'm gonna have to funny around with the size. Okay, if anyone's watching, I am sorry. This is gonna funny around massively, but I need to try and fix it. Oh, that's almost fixed it. We got it. Oh, that has almost fixed that then. Wait, I'm going to interact with it quickly. Sergio Perez, 7.5 attempts to knock out. Looks like he's about to start his flying lap now, just coming down the start finish straight. You'd expect him to, well, be a lot closer to the likes of Alonso and Leclerc, but Perez isn't the greatest driver in the world, is he? So you don't really expect a lot from him. How long until we get a yellow flag, I wonder? Let's find out. Oh, it's now vanished. Brilliant. Getting... it's vanished. I've been fanning around with it for too much and it's now vanished. Brilliant. Well, Russell, coming down to turn 3 where we've had the 2 red flags. Oh, come on, come back. Well, I'm sorry if anyone's watching, but you can only see the bottom 10 now because I fucked it up. Turn 4 now, Russell coming into turn 5 and 6. Quick left, right, then into the casual section. Here he goes. Turn 5 and 6. He's only 1.5 attempts down on Verstappen. In the first sector, considering how dragging the mark is very impressive. Little slowest corner on the track, turn it right, then through the castle section, quick left, right. Well, it's left, left, right. Try not to clip any of the walls because you don't want that. That'll be a bad day, that will. Won't even let me interact with a lot of timing, so I don't think we're going to be getting the top 10 again, so I'll fuck that up. Anyway, Russell, coming now down to the last proper corner of the track as Albon goes third, 42.1. With 3 minutes 47 remaining, he's gone 2 tenths slower than Verstappen. The track is ramping up now as Perez, my bad, goes 1.5 tenths quicker than Verstappen. Hamilton up to 4th, 42.1, 3 tenths slower than Perez. Verstappen goes 4 tenths quicker than Perez, and Russell now crosses the line 6th, 1.1 seconds slower, 42.5. Ocon goes 7th, 42.6. Tsunoda goes 9th, 42.7. And now Sainz crosses the line, P7, 1.2 seconds off the pace, but that should be enough. I'd expect these to be the last laps. Norris goes 5th. He's looked sharp this weekend, Lando Norris has. 7 tenths off. Stroll 7th in the Aston Martin, not the greatest. Bottas goes 15th, knocks Piastri into the knockout zone. Piastri crossing the line now. He's out of the knockout zone. 13th, 1.3 seconds off, 42.7. Next up, Fernando Alonso, currently P11. 2 green sectors, 2 personal best sectors. Cross the line. It is a 42.4 and he is P7. Leclerc's just going to set another personal best, but he's not within 4 tenths. 4.4 tenths off. Currently third behind Perez and Verstappen. And Ocon's gone and grazed the wall now, so the Alpines seem to be loving the walls. So that's good to see. I'm going to see if I make it bigger again if it works. Does it come? No, don't come back. Oh, it does come back if I make it bigger. That's fucking funny, isn't it? So it just likes to piss me off and ruin how it looks. Brilliant, that. Fuck's sake, man. I want it to be nice and tidy, man. I want it to be smart. It looks shit. Okay, let's make it 600 instead of 700. Then if I interact with this, 1 minute left, so everyone's done now. So De Vries, Gasly, Magnussen, Zhou and Bottas all knocked out. Sargent gets through by the skin of his teeth by a tenth or so. So your top 15 through to the next session. Well, Albon's on a lap now, but he's P6, so he's not going to be knocked out. But as it stands, Sargent, Hulkenberg, Piastri, Zhou, not Zhou, Zhou's out. Perez has just gone purple in the first sector. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut because people are on flyers here, to be fair. 35 seconds left. People are on flying laps here. And Perez, if he can, at least go first in this session, he won't put pressure on Verstappen, to be fair, but he'll look good for Perez. Sargent 7 tenths down on Verstappen in the middle sector. 15th, driver at risk, so if anyone's doing laps below him, then they might have a chance. And Perez, it looks like an absolute cork of a lap here. He's around 3 tenths up on Verstappen. Sargent crosses the line. Albon stays 6th. Sargent goes up to 7th. Great lap. Russell down in 10th. He's on a lap as well. 2 personal bests. Coming down the main straight now. 2 personal best sectors. So he's looking good, Russell here. If he can just get it up to P5, P4, he should be sound. George Russell now approaching the start-finish line. Perez aborted the lap he boxed, so I don't know why he'd do that. Russell crosses the line, P4. 6 tenths off. 42 flat for Russell there. As we've got Bottas on a lap. Sainz on a lap. Tsunoda on a lap. Hulkenberg at risk. Tsunoda crosses the line. P8. 42.2 for Yuki Tsunoda. Next up, Carlos Sainz. P13. At the moment, he is at risk if cars behind can improve. Leclerc has gone fast in the first sector. Sainz crosses the line. P8. 8 tenths off. 42.1. Should be safe. Next up, Valtteri Bottas in the drop zone. P16. What has Bottas got in his locker here? 2 personal best sectors. He's looking good to improve. He's around 1.5 tenths off Oscar Piastri with car ahead of him, P15. Bottas crosses the line. P13. 42.5. Next up, Zhou, P15. Piastri in the knockout zone. Crosses the line. Now Piastri, P11. Should be safe. Next up across the line, Fernando Alonso goes P2. 3 tenths off Verstappen. Next up, Charles Leclerc, who's gone purple in the first, green in the second, and goes fastest by a tenth. 41.2 for Charles Leclerc, and he ends Q1 quickest. The drivers eliminated Nick de Vries, Pierre Gasly, Kevin Magnussen, Nico Hulkenberg, and Zhou Guanyu. There are your 5 eliminated. Nick de Vries not setting a lap time, crashing out, and Gasly crashing out as well. And then the 2 asses of Magnussen and Hulkenberg out along with Zhou Guanyu. Your top 10, Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, Sergio Perez, George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, Norris, Albon, Sainz and Tsunoda. That is your top 10. Yeah, I don't want that. Oh no, I've actually balls the fucker up here, haven't I? Actually, no, that's probably where it was. Did a full 180, baby. He's fucking fixed it. Get in there, Marshall. Absolutely class this. Pardon me. And then if anyone sees these, don't get them. They're a bag of wank. Oh, it makes you shit, so don't get them. Replay of Lewis here. Oh, clips the wall. Front right tyre, clip the wall. Just the last corner, kicks the wall. And now, not kicks the wall. Oh, and then he has a big snap, has to correct it there. Rear right. Well, rear end even, not rear right. As you can see now there, De Vries, Gasly, Magnussen, Hulkenberg and Zhou out. I'm getting a bit hot. I'm going to take my jumper off. Cars now queuing up at the back of the pit lane. Gunter Steiner's not happy, both his drivers are out. I will be doing the next three, I will be streaming the shootout tomorrow, the sprint race tomorrow, and then the race Sunday as well, so stay tuned for that, guys. AlphaTauri keep doing this. They don't send the car out earlier, then they just stick them out to stick a nose out and try and block people coming out pit lane. Poor sport, to be honest with you, poor sport. I think if you go back and have a look at the last, well, the 3 races that we've just gone and had, if you go and have a look at it, Ferrari, Bahrain, 3rd quickest car, but Leclerc, good qualifying compared to Aston Martin's, has a gap and then he blows up. Then you go to Saudi, nowhere, 4th quickest car. Go to Australia, 4th quickest car. Have a 4-week break, you come back and they're looking solid here, especially Nando Charles Leclerc, looking very solid, so fair play to them. Can't really see what Merc look like, because this isn't really a Merc track, to be fair. They're not quick in a straight line, so this isn't going to suit Merc. So if the Merc can get a car in top 5, be loving life, to be fair. Oh, fucking hell. Fucking hell. Here we go then, 14 minutes to go in Q2, start of a new session. Both Ferraris in the box. Lewis out, Lewis Hamilton out, warming the tyres up, just about to come up to the castle section now, so midway through his warm up. Bottas ahead. It looks like Fernando Alonso about to start his flying lap. Here he goes then. Coming up to the start finish line. Fernando Alonso 12th in the speed trap, 333 kilometres an hour. Braking down to turn 1. Nicely done. Apex hit. Coming up to turn 2 now. Short straight. Now into turn 2. Then you've got a nice back straight. DRS activated, wide open, coming up to turn 3. Halfway through the straight now. Aston Martin, draggy like the Merc defender, not the quickest car ever. Didn't hit the apex cleanly, but he didn't run wide. Coming up to turn 5, 6 now. 35.7 in the first sector for Fernando Alonso. Quick left, right. Then you've got a mini straight before you come up to the slowest corner on the track. Braking down, turn right again. Now you come up to the castle section. It's not slow. Once you quickly flick it in left, then you've got to be careful. Walls all around you. Then you turn left again on the exit. Then you've got a nice long back straight again now. Heavy braking zone, you've got to flick it in left, you've got to be careful not to lock up and run wide and hit the wall. And Alonso there, beautifully precision there. That's what you expect with Fernando Alonso. Right up against the wall, but doesn't hit it. 16.5 so far this lap is. Now he's got the high speed left right kinks, and then he's got flat out straight down to the line. Here he goes now then. DRS activated, heading towards the line now. Fernando Alonso crosses the line. 41.4. Not too bad. Perez purple in the first sector. Alonso's teammate Stroll 32.2. So big difference. Almost a second difference. Perez is quicker than Verstappen in the first sector here. As Perez coming alive here. Purple in the middle as well. 16.2 he is so far on this lap. Let's see if Verstappen can beat him in the middle sector. Russell and Hamilton second and third. Slower than Alonso. Alonso's lap was good. Perez now. Final kink right. DRS activated. Up to the line. Is he going to be in 39s? No. 41.1. 2 tenths quicker than Alonso. That last sector let him down. Verstappen's not going quicker than Perez though. Verstappen's not going quicker than him. Verstappen now left. Quick kick left. Then right. Flat out to the line now for Max Verstappen. He's not up on Perez in the first 2 sectors, but Perez's last sector weren't the strongest. So can Verstappen fight back in the last sector? DRS activated. Up to the line. Verstappen crosses the line. Second. That is tight. It's around 500ths in it, is it? 600ths in it. Between Perez and Verstappen. And Perez is the leading man. He's slower than Perez in the first sector by a tenth and a half. He's slower than Perez in the middle sector by 100th. But then he's quicker by a tenth in the last. Now Carlos Sainz. Oh, crossing the line now. Where? Oh, they haven't set a lap yet. So this is Sainz now going into turn 2. I don't expect him to be fighting with Perez and Verstappen, but I do expect to see Leclerc light up the timing sheets as Leclerc starts his flying lap now. Sainz into turn 3, here we go. Heavy braking zone. Nicely done there from Sainz. Clips the apex nicely. Rotation perfectly. Back end doesn't step out. Nicely done. Coming into the quick left right now. Turn 5 and 6. 4 tenths down on Perez. And he's backed out of it. He's backed out of it, Sainz, because he ran wide. Carlos Sainz, he's feeling the pressure here today. Carlos Sainz is. Not Perez on the other end. Well, Perez is only 300ths quicker than Leclerc. Leclerc looking strong here in the first sector. Coming up to the castle section now, where you'd expect the throw to be a bit, well, not stronger than the Red Bull, because the Red Bull's strong in every area of the track. But this is where Leclerc is at his strongest, not in the straight. Hitting the apex nicely. Rear end steps out there. Got on the power a bit early. Flat out now, down to the heavy braking zone. Turn the car left there. He's got a bit of traffic ahead, and it's Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen ahead. So it's on the radio saying he's struggling with the tyres that he's on. Leclerc now last. He's 400ths down on Perez. Leclerc's right in this here. Is Verstappen going to stay out and try and get a toe off Leclerc, or is he on his way in? Well, Leclerc head bobbling all the way down to the line now. Charles Leclerc opening the DRS any second now. There we go, DRS activated. Charles Leclerc to the line. Is he going to go quickest? Third, 800ths separating the top 3. This is tight. This is very, very tight. Alonso's on a lap. Stroll's on a lap. Tsunoda's on a lap. How far is Alonso off? He's only 2 tenths off it. So he might find a 500th improvement, something improvement on his lap. He don't look like he's fighting with a top threat at the moment. It looks like he's not even fighting the Mercs. The Mercs are 6 tenths off him. Alonso's sort of in no man's land here, and then the front 3 are in no man's land with themselves. Anyway, Alonso now DRS activated up to the line. Alonso didn't activate DRS. Fernando Alonso didn't activate DRS. He got a DRS failure there. Next up across the line, Ocon, he jumps ahead of Hamilton, P6. Tsunoda, P7. Sainz now coming up to the last left-hander, 6 steps up on Albon, which you'd expect. If he's going to be 6 steps up though, I don't think he's going to be proper fighting with. He's going to be fighting with maybe the 2 Aston Martins, but with where his teammate is, Charles Leclerc, he should be fighting for the front row pole here. Let's see what he's got then. Coming up to the DRS activation point. Activate the DRS now. Up to the line. What's it going to be? P5. He's 4 tenths off. It's really not good there. Really not good. He's in an Aston Martin sandwich, but he's 2.5 tenths off his teammate. It's not good, that. Hamilton on an outlap. Albon starting his lap. Albon, you know, you might see one of the Mercs knocked out here. Albon's looking really, really strong here this weekend. Clips the apex beautifully for turn 2. Opens the car up nicely. DRS activated. Heading down to turn 3 now. He's giving his teammate behind Sargent a tow. Turn 3 hit, then turn 4. He's got a bit of traffic ahead. He's got the traffic of Carlos Sainz or Charles Leclerc, and he's had a big snap of oversteer there. Correction, big correction there for Alex Albon. He's 3 tenths up on Lewis Hamilton, though, is Alex Albon in the Williams, which is very impressive. And Logan Sargent is 2 tenths up, 3 tenths up as well on Lewis Hamilton. So this is looking promising for the 2 Williams guys. Hamilton at the moment in 10th, 5 minutes to go. We've got people coming into the pits now to start get a new set of tyres on and start their last laps in maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes, get out. So this might be the last run for the likes of Albon, Sargent and Norris. On a different run plan, obviously, get a bit of, not fresh air, you don't need fresh air, get a bit of clean air even. Heavy left-hander now, Albon. Nicely done, nice and calm, nice and smooth from Alex Albon here. And he's 4.5 tenths up on Lewis Hamilton, so Lewis Hamilton here is going to be in the drop zone. Hamilton's going to be at risk here for the last 4.5 minutes of this session. This isn't looking good for Merck here. They're looking like they are maybe the 4th or 5th quickest car this weekend, which isn't great news. From going 2nd or 3rd in Melbourne, fighting the Aston Martins, finishing 2nd, looks like they're going to be fighting to finish in the top 5 this week if it stays like this. Albon crosses the line, goes P7 and knocks Hamilton down to 11th. Logan Sargent up next goes 13th, so he hasn't threatened Hamilton. Hamilton's on a flyer at the moment. He's gone green in the first sector. Lando Norris, 2 personal best sectors. Leclerc's gone quickest by a 10th. Charles Leclerc quickest. Lando Norris crosses the line. P7. Hamilton's up by 5.5 tenths on Esteban Ocon. Hamilton is up by 5.5 tenths on Esteban Ocon. Coming up to the start-finish line now, Lewis Hamilton. Maybe 500 metres away. Little kink right. Coming up now. DRS activation point around 150, 200 metres. Here we go. Bottas up behind him as well. Down a P15 valve to Bottas. 2 personal best. Lewis Hamilton goes P8. Not great from Hamilton. Still at risk is Lewis Hamilton. Poor last sector. Only P8 for Hamilton. Bottas only goes 14th. Oscar Piastri up next. 13th. DRS open. Stays 13th. George Russell now in P10. Driver at risk. 2 personal best sectors. George Russell crossing the line now. Only P9. The Mercs are not quick here at the moment. Not quick today at all. Really fighting to stay in it. Yellow sector 1. Yellow flag in sector 1. What is happening here? That's going to cause people to abandon their laps if they're in the first sector. What has happened? And it's Carlos Sainz. He's gone straight on into the run-off zone. Carlos Sainz, he's having a fucking howler of a weekend, he is. Absolute howler. He's 5 tenths off his teammate and he's gone straight off in the run-off zone there. So at the moment, the bottom 5 is Logan Sargent, Valtteri Bottas, Oscar Piastri, Esteban Ocon and Yuki Tsunoda. Oh dear. Oh dear. This is tight. This is very tight. Very tight indeed. Just running on board now with Carlos Sainz. I'm going to guess he's going to lock up or he's just going to brake himself. Let's have a look. Don't even lock up, just doesn't make the corner, completely outbrakes himself. Not good there from Carlos Sainz. Really poor. He's really struggling out there. Just going back on board Alexander Albon as he had this big snap of oversteer. Probably cost him 2 tenths or so. Look at that. Great car control, but poor. Here we go then. Esteban Ocon, 1 minute 40 to go. Last lap. Can he knock out Alexander Albon? Can he knock him out? Let's see what he's got in his locker. First 2 corners hooked up nicely. took as much run off as he can there in the street circuit, right up against the wall. DRS wide open. Headed down to turn 3 comes now. What's the first sector going to be looking like? Turn 3. He's not going to do any... Yeah, nice. He didn't hit it aggressively. Could have been a bit more aggressive there, but he hasn't put it in the wall like his teammate. Turn 4 taken beautifully. Really nicely there. Now quick turn 5 and 6 for Esteban Ocon. He's a 10th and a half up. Oh, did he hit the inside wall there? Looked like the rear end steps out. He might have lost a bit of time there, Esteban Ocon. Albon's got a lifeline there if so. Slowest corner on the track now. Coming up to the quick castle section. Well, not the quick castle section, but coming up to the castle section. Keep it nice and tidy, Esteban. Nicely done. Quick right hander now. You flick it right, then you flick it left, and then you open up. Try and open it up for the long back straight. Verstappen's on a lap. He's just gone 200ths quicker than Charles Leclerc in the first sector. Esteban Ocon heavy braking zone now. Slows it down nicely. Doesn't take as much run off as he could. He could have got right up against the wall there, but he's playing it safe. At the moment in P12, so he should be pushing as hard as he can. He's a 10th and a half up or so on Alexander Albon. Verstappen looks like he's really fighting the car. He's had a snap oversteer there as well there as Verstappen. Bottas set a personal best first sector. Esteban Ocon now coming up to the start-finish line. DRS activated any second now. There, DRS activated up to the line. Is he going to be into the top 10? Esteban Ocon. Oh, he's just 10th. He is just in by 200ths. Bottas is on a lap behind him. Piastri is on a lap behind him. But up ahead, Max Verstappen, 2 purple sectors. He's looking like he could go to the top of the standings here. Max Verstappen coming up to the line now. Norris goes 5th. What a lap from Lando Norris. Putting the 2 Mercs at risk. Verstappen crosses the line. He goes 2 tenths quicker than Leclerc. Dominance there from Verstappen. Next up, Valtteri Bottas crosses the line. Stays 14th. Bottas is out. Piastri up next. Goes 8th. George Russell at risk now. Tsunoda goes 7th. The Mercs are at risk here. Russell's 11th. He's out at this moment in time. Hamilton's set a lap. He's out. If Russell improves, Lewis Hamilton's out here. Russell's out. George Russell is out of the session. Oh my fucking God. What's going on here? Russell out. Russell out of the session. They've been beaten by an AlphaTauri, the slowest car. They've been beaten by both of the McLarens. What is going on? Russell out by 0.004 of a second. Wow. Wow. George Russell out. Your 5 eliminated: Logan Sargent, Valtteri Bottas, Alexander Albon, Esteban Ocon and George Russell. Wow. That is close. George Russell out. I know they're draggy, but fucking hell, that is... Top 10, Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez, Sainz, Alonso, Norris, Tsunoda, Stroll, Piastri and Hamilton. That is your top 10. Hamilton through by the skin of his teeth. Bloody hell. When he woke up this morning, he wouldn't know he wouldn't have been fighting for pole, but fucking hell, fighting to stay in it. Fucking hell. Russell's not going to be happy there. Out in Q2. Tapping out the car. Well, they've got this. This he's going to be 11th for the race on Sunday, but he's got the sprint qualifying and the sprint race tomorrow to gain some points. So we'll have to see what he's got, but it's not looking great there. It's not looking great. Cheers, Ollie, love. Tell me, shush, cheeky cunt. Q3 up next. Looks like it'll be between Verstappen and Leclerc for pole position. Looks like Lewis is going to be fighting to fucking start on the 5th row. Class. Okay, now Ganacho's had new teeth. Whitened teeth, that's why he looks so fucking weird. Go on, Ollie, mate. Get your prediction if you're still in the chat. Who's going to be on pole, mate? You can see the lap times there, how close people are. Get a prediction in, love. Go on. He's probably left now. He probably told me to shush and fucked off. He's a cheeky fucker. Anyone in here, get your predictions in for pole. You can see the top 10 there. You can see the lap times. You can see Leclerc was 2 tenths off. Perez was 3 tenths off. Sainz 5 tenths off. Alonso 5 tenths off. Norris 6 tenths off. Tsunoda 7. Stroll 7. Piastri 8. And Lewis 8. Get your predictions in, guys. Get your predictions in. Just put it in the chat. I don't believe that. Don't believe that, Lewis. There's Russell walking out the garage. P11. He wouldn't have been expecting that today when he woke up. Well, Ollie, mate, I can't see who's watching, you cheeky cunt. I'm not doing it on Twitch. I'll do it on this, love. I'll just do it every weekend, Ollie. Eventually I'll get a couple of people, maybe 5 or 10. Listen, yeah, Boxing Live could not produce a live like this. Let's just say that, mate. Let's keep that loud and clear. He could not produce a live at this standards. That's all I'm saying. Little replay, Yuki Tsunoda. P7, to be fair. I think it's cracking from Yuki Tsunoda. The AlphaTauri boys look proper up with P7 there. As you can see now on the right hand side, they're all the people that haven't made it into Q3 shootout. So you've got the Vries, Gasly, Magnussen, Hulkenberg, Joe, Sargent, Bottas, Albon, Ocon and Russell. Well, if you still here, like the video, yeah? Sound. Appreciate that, lovely. Cause I'm on track number one. Ollie, like the video, because if you like it, mate, then... No, Ollie, mate, because if you like it, that's how I get into the algorithm, that's how I become famous and I'm minting off my head, mate. So you need to fucking click that like button, love. Because if you don't, I'll come around your house and I'll fucking glass your windows in, twat. Well, I just checked and it says 3 people are watching, Ollie, so I'm absolutely fucking famous off my head, mate. Oh no, down to 1. Fuck's sake. Oh. Fuck's sake, man. Cheers, Ollie, mate. Really appreciate that you've liked it, mate. Really going to be worldwide famous now. Verstappen in the pit lane. Looks like the sun's coming down a bit. Verstappen's never started in the front row, apparently, here in Baku. Well, he's definitely going to be starting on the front row this fucking weekend, that's for sure. 11 minutes left of this session, then. 11 minutes left of qualifying. Let's see who's going to be on pole. I mean, it's probably going to be the Dutch cunt. Ollie, you keep saying go on to Twitch. If I go on to Twitch, I'm not going to get no views. It's not going to make no difference, mate. And I forgot my Twitch password. I might go on Twitch tomorrow, we'll see. We'll see. No point going on Twitch now, mate. There's only 11 minutes left. Are you in college, Ollie, as well? If so, get your entire fucking class to watch. Get every monitor on F1 Live. Say, listen here, yeah? Cracking blur it is. Get it on. Yeah, but how? How do I get more views on Twitch? No one on Twitch is gonna... Oh, actually, they might search it up because other people do it on Twitch. So I might nick a couple of views. Oh, but you should be in college, Ollie, mate. Get everyone watching it. Well, Ollie, mate, get your prediction in the chat. Prediction in the chat, Ollie, mate. Who's going to get polled? Prediction in the chat, Sunshine. Prediction in the chat. So obviously, we've got thousands in here. So, obviously, get a prediction in the chat, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share it to your family, friends, your nephews. You know what you should do, Ollie? You should come in a photo bomb. You should come in. Get a chair. Commentate with me. Alright, Verstappen crashes, to be honest. Spice it up a bit. If he starts tanking from the race, they still fucking win. Oh dear. Oh dear. Here we go then. Max Verstappen DRS activated, starting his first flying lap. Coming up to turn 1. Start finish line cross, turn 1. Go on, put it in the wall. Heavy braking zone. Flicks it left. Ooh, snap of oversteer, almost in the wall. Down to turn 2. It looks like he's fighting the car a lot more than he normally would. Looks like that Red Bull isn't as easy as it was to drive a couple of weeks ago, that's for sure. This 4-week break has brought Ferrari back into the picture, it looks like a bit. He's fighting the car. He's not doing one sudden movement. He keeps doing that. It's not like him. I think Leclerc might get pole here. Show Leclerc pole position. I think it's inbound. Perez goes quicker than Verstappen. Purple first sector for Perez. Verstappen, the way he's driving, it looks really bad. It looks like he's really fighting the car. Through the castle section he goes. Leclerc, purple first sector. Show Leclerc. Leclerc in the money here. Go on, son. Up to turn 14, heavy braking zone. Turn 15 now, flicks it left. I was hoping that tyre would end up in wall there. Watch this middle sector, he's gone on 15.6 so far. I think Leclerc's going to beat it. Leclerc's middle sector is where he's at his strongest. Let's have a look then. Sainz, nowhere near it, not on the money. Perez goes quickest in the middle sector. Verstappen crosses the line. It's in the 39s now. 40.4 for Max Verstappen. Next up, Carlos Sainz. He's in no man's land. He's a bag of wank. Next up, Charles Leclerc. Purple first sector. Is he? Yeah. Oh! They've set the identical lap time. The identical lap time between Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen, both 40.445s. Fucking hell, who would have thought that? That is tight. Alonso, nowhere near it. He must have had a bad lap there. He must have made an error or been off it. But the identical lap times, that is fucking magical, that. That is magical. Leclerc's right in it. Lewis, can he find 2 attempts to maybe get ahead of Sainz? If Lewis can qualify 5th here, take that, because the car ain't been in the ballpark this afternoon. Ain't been in the ballpark. Wow, identical lap times. That is impressive. Impressive. This is going to be a pain in the ass, this, to fucking edit down to 10 minutes, I tell ya. Got to fucking make 10 minutes out of 4 hours or something. This is going to be class. Got 3 more streams to do this weekend. Brilliant. That's going to turn into 10 minutes. I'm going to do this every weekend now. I'm going to make a living out of this fucker. I am. Watch this space, lads. No one's really watching. I'm probably talking to myself like a swap. Yeah, I'm talking to myself. Fucking idiot. Anyway, Stroll on a flyer. Coming up to turn 3. Oh no. Stroll 7/10 down on Max Verstappen in the first sector. It looks like Ferrari are the second quickest car this weekend. It does look that way. It looks like they are the second quickest car this weekend. 5.5 minutes left on the clock, and Lance Stroll looks like he's fighting for P5, P6, which isn't bad, but you'd expect them to be the Mercedes and the Aston Martin to be a bit close this weekend, to be honest. But they're both very draggy cars. But so yeah, time 15, heavy braking zone. Nicely done from Lance Stroll there. Nicely done indeed. 1.2 seconds off. Well, if it says 1.2 seconds off, it's going to be 7th. So Lewis might have done a really good lap there, to be honest, because last time around it looked like Aston Martin just had his number just about. Crossing the line, Lance Stroll. Where's he going to finish? P7, as I thought, 1.5 seconds off. So Lewis, if he can get P5, he might even be able to get P4 because Sainz don't look the strongest this weekend. The front 3 separate by a 10th. The front 2 separated by literally nothing, which is mega. So yeah. Oscar Piastri on a lap here. 1.2 seconds down on Verstappen, so he's looking to be neck and neck with his teammate Lando Norris here. He's looking P6, P7. If he can beat Lance Stroll, there's a lap and a half from Oscar Piastri in his 4th race in F1. Here we go then. Both Aston Martins, DRS isn't working apparently for Lance Stroll. That could be explain the reason why they're down on a very, very slippery track, long straight. And Oscar Piastri ends up 10th. He looked like he was on for P6, P7, but no. And that could be the reason why Lewis is ahead of Lewis and Norris are ahead of Stroll, because the DRS ain't working. Let's have a look here. Yep, the DRS ain't opening. That's going to lose you 2 to 3 tenths easily. That in a track like this, maybe even half a second. So not looking good for the old Aston Martin boys. Not looking good. And now people are out for their last lap. Battery exhausted. Are you having a laugh? Come on. And okay, well, you're only going to hear me because me battery's packed in. So that is class. Brilliant. We need to charge this then. Well, that'll be all charged for tomorrow. My bloody battery's packed in. Are you having a laugh? Well, you're not going to see me face, but you're going to hear me voice as we now come on to the last laps of qualifying. Russell and Mick Schumacher in a Mercedes garage. Alonso behind Lewis here in the pits. Oh, he avoids Lewis. He locks up both tyres. That's going to... They don't look flat spotted, but it's not going to help him. Here we go then. Is this Charles Leclerc on a flying lap now? Turn 1, turn 2, navigated nicely. Leclerc's been the strongest in the first sector all weekend, to be fair. Let's see what he's got. Leclerc. What's his first sector looking like? Coming up to turn 4 now. Beautifully done. No oversteer, no understeer. Is he going to go purple? He's a 10th up on his lap, is Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc's in it for pole. Sainz 2.5 tenths down on Verstappen in the first sector. What's Perez got? Perez, a 10th and a half up on Verstappen in the first sector here. It's getting spicy now between the top three. Leclerc through the castle section. Long back straight now. Coming up to turn 15. Let's see what he's got in his locker. Heavy braking. Flicks the car left. Rides a lot of the curb. What has he got? He's up by 2.5 tenths in the middle sector is Charles Leclerc. He's up by 2.5 tenths on Max Verstappen. What a Sainz, 7 tenths down. What has Sergio Perez got? He's up in the first. Is he up in the second? Perez, 600ths down in the middle sector. Charles Leclerc looking good here for pole position. Charles Leclerc, DRS open. Up to the line. Is Charles Leclerc going to be the first non-Red Bull driver to get pole? He crosses the line. 2.5 tenths up, Charles Leclerc. Provisional pole goes to Charles Leclerc. Verstappen's down the middle sector. Sainz fourth, a second off the pace. Perez down in the middle sector. Perez crosses the line. He's not got pole. 3 tenths off. Third place for Sergio Perez. Verstappen crosses. Verstappen 2 tenths off. Pole position. Charles Leclerc. First non-Red Bull driver, and he's gone and got it. Alonso 6th, a second off. Can Hamilton maybe get ahead of Carlos Sainz? Has he set a lap? I don't know if Lewis Hamilton has set a lap or not. Has Hamilton crossed the line? I don't think Hamilton's crossed the line yet. But Charles Leclerc, pole position for the Scuderia. He'll be loving that. Tsunoda goes 7th. That is very impressive. Very, very impressive for Charles Leclerc and the Ferrari boys. The first non-Red Bull driver this season to get pole. And it's Charles Leclerc. Impressive. Impressive. They've gone from being nowhere to being at the front of the grid. You can't say an awful lot about that. Yeah, Ollie, make my camera die, you prick. Charles Leclerc on pole. Happy bastard days, that. Your top 10. Leclerc, Verstappen, Perez, Sainz, Hamilton, Alonso, Norris, Tsunoda, Stroll and Oscar Piastri. Hamilton in the end. 10th and a half off Sainz. Well, I hope you enjoyed the live. I'll have my camera charged for tomorrow, hopefully. I'm going to go get some lunch because I'm fucking starving. And I love you and leave you. Toodle pip.